So Dave Chappelle was right. You may not remember this, but back when the Me Too was really taking off, Dave Chappelle dropped 2 Netflix specials. And in it, he said, he wanted the best for the women, but there was going to be a backlash. And ladies and gentlemen, it's begun. This comes to us from the New York Post. Men are afraid to mentor women after #MeToo, and it hurts us all. Study. This was written by Rob Bailey. Men are scared of women now. LeanIn.org and SurveyMonkey's new #MentorHer poll reveals Friday that 60% of male managers report feeling too nervous about being accused of harassment to interact with women in common workplace activities, such as mentoring, socializing, and one-on-one meetings. Yeah, because, yes, if you spent the last 15, 20 years of your life building yourself up, and to have it taken away at the whims of another person, why would anyone want to put themselves in such a risk? That's a 32% spike from 2018, with an additional 36% of men saying how they now actively avoid women in junior level positions, effectively chopping down their shot at climbing the corporate ladder. It really reminds me of when one person messes it up for the whole class, like the teacher comes in and they can't figure out who did it, so everybody gets punished. Like, that's really what this feels like. The vast majority of managers and senior leaders are men, says Sheryl Sandberg, Facebook COO, SurveyMonkey board member, and founder of LeanIn.org. In a statement, if they are reluctant even to meet one-on-one with women, there's no way women can get equal shot at proving themselves. Widening the gender gap is actually an abuse of power, she says. This is what you asked for, though. This is what you ladies demanded. Am I wrong? Is there something that I'm missing here? This is what the Me Too movement was all about, was, hey, we got to stop all the harassment. And so thusly, we got to put men on, we got to put men on alert, let them know. And the men have responded in kind. For every action, there's a reaction of equal or greater proportions. And this is the reaction of equal and greater proportions. We're in a bad place. No one's ever gotten promoted without one-on-one meeting. I feel confident in saying that, Sandberg tells CBS This Morning. Host Gayle King, Friday. Senior men right now are 9 times more hesitant to travel with a woman and 6 times more likely to hesitate to have a work dinner. Yeah, because any evidence of that, hey, we spent some alone time together, can be flipped against him, and you can destroy his life. This has been proven time and time again, with a lot of false accusations coming out, and this idea to just believe without any evidence, without any proof, it's really what kind of got you wrapped up right here. Because the deal is that, hey, if we don't, I'll tell you exactly where these men's minds are. They're like, look, if me and you never have a one-on-one conversation, there's no way that you can accuse me of something. So it only makes sense. Women, and especially women of color, of course, don't get the same amount of mentoring as men, which means we're not getting an equal seat at the table, Sandberg says. It's not enough to not harass us. You need to not ignore us either. Okay, but that's the thing. I mean, it's impossible to speak for every individual situation that's ever taken place in the course and history of man, right? So I'm not about to do that. But when the risk versus the reward, when the risk is greater than the reward, you can't imagine people will want to take the risk at all, And so, she's it's not. This really was a no-win situation. The study reports that the fear factor grew in concurrence with the rise of the massive Me Too social media movement, founded by activist Tarana Burke and fueled by a torrent of models and actresses accusing Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby of sexual harassment and assault. In the last 3 years, scores of women and some high-profile men, such as actors Terry Crews and Anthony Rapp, came forward to voice their experiences with harassment by people in positions of power. Power corrupts. I mean, absolute power corrupts absolutely. These are terms and phrases that are very common. And so I'm not saying that it's right. I never want to insinuate that anyone should ever use their position of strength against the vulnerable. No, I just got finished watching Game of Thrones episode 5, season 8, episode 5. No, Danny, you don't just turn your dragon on a bunch of people that can't defend themselves, okay? So trust me, I completely get it. But at the same time, if you sit there and crank up the volume to like 15, don't be surprised when brothers put earmuffs on and say, you know what? Nah, I don't want to get my ears damaged. I mean, we're talking about lives. We're talking about families, full families, because you hurt when the man gets accused of sexual harassment, and in the Me Too wave of it, there's just, oh, she said it gotta be believed. So, you know, he's in a no-win situation. And when you try to put a man in a no-win situation, he'll carve a way out of it. And this is just these gentlemen carving their way out. If we ain't together, if there's no record or any instance of us ever being alone together, guess what you can't do? You can't harass me. And deal is that it's far less likely to happen with men. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, there was an interview he did where he said there's not a really, we're not 100% sure if men and women can work together in the workplace, because this is a relatively new phenomenon when at least here in as far as like the existence of man, because for the longest time things had their set roles, and now you want to put the acceleration on the change, and but you can't sit there and, you know, expect special treatment from the same person that you are trying to take down. Does that make sense? I hope so. There's not a company in the world that can afford to leave talent on the sidelines because it's female, she says. But that's what will keep happening unless all of us, especially men, commit to doing better. And so Miss Sandberg, I have to ask, what more can men do? I mean, just as a species, what more can we do? I mean, every time you look up, there is, you know, there's so much feminine energy running around right now that there is like a real epidemic of young men committing suicide because it's like they're born into a world that, you know, that not lesser, but, you know, they're nothing but a threat. They're nothing but harmful. And it goes along the lines of, and not to compare, but it goes along the lines of the subhuman, superhuman thing when it comes to African Americans. Because on one hand, we're superhuman and we can just, you know, commit crazy act of violence. But on the other hand, we're subhuman and we can't we're not smart enough to know better. When in our reality, each and every one of us, and this goes for men, women, all of us, we all try, or we all should be trying to straddle that line in between both, you know? So unfortunately, this is a real thing, but it was easy to understand how we ended up in this position where, you know, it's just not worth the risk. And you keep saying that men have to do more. What more can we do? We there's literally nothing more that we can do as far as trying to look out for ourselves and secure ourselves and our families, as well as try to bring things forward. I mean, you're a COO, Miss Sandberg. You yourself are the you dispel your own myth, you know? Like, no one stopped you from becoming the COO, right? And you have like so many different jobs. You're a SurveyMonkey board member and founder of a whole website and stuff like that. Like, you yourself, you are Whitney Houston, every woman. So where does it, like, how, like, I understand you want to make more of them, but at the same time, we have life choices that we all need to make, and these gentlemen are making the best life choices for them. And honestly, I'd appreciate if you respected that a bit more instead of sitting here talking about, what men can do. Well, what men can do is really chill with the false claims, because that helps absolutely no one. What women can do is, you know, hey, look in the mirror. If you want to see, like, the success you want to see, Miss Sandberg, is looking you dead in the mirror every morning. what more can we do? You know, I mean, Western society was really built. I mean, capitalism, women are capitalism's bread and butter, bread and butter. They are the gas to the engine that is capitalism, that is American capitalism, which is why we've gone out of our way to create comfortable environments and comfortable settings for you. All you have to do is maneuver life. All anyone, and that goes for man or woman, has to do is maneuver life, you know, adequately, and you can you can end up with a pretty decent life. And it's particularly here in Western society, as I have nothing, I don't really have the Middle East to compare it to because I'm not from the Middle East. I've never been to the Middle East, but I would imagine quite a bit better than Saudi Arabia or Qatar, you know? So guys, with that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end. By all means, all the internet stuff, like, if you like the video, sub. If you want to hear more of my fantastic voice, share, because come on guys, this stuff is nuts. And you could have seen this coming. Dave Chappelle saw it coming. Dave Chappelle's a prophet. Love that guy. Best comedian ever. And speak, let me know. I mean, like, is there any other reason? Like, do you really need more reason other than the fact that the risk reward factor just isn't in it for the gentleman anymore? For your boss to sit there, oh well, yeah, Susan, let's go have a dinner and talk at Outback Steakhouse, one-on-one, me and you. Then the next day, oh my goodness, he sexually harassed me. Hey, you gotta go, bruh. No, there's no win. There's no win. You can't sit there and tell somebody. Tell somebody, hey, you know, if you do this, we're going to screw you over. But so why did you stop doing it? You can't get mad at people for that. Come on, guys. Until the next video.